Well, I mean, they need security right now.
A bit like the border?
Not at all like the border.
Why does a border not need security but a Harris rally does?
I don't want to be on your news camera. I don't know you.
Oh, okay. That explains it. Why is it a stupid question?
Because this is the nation's capital.
So the nation's capital is more important than the
I did
nation?
not say that.
So why is it stupid? Why is there a difference? Do you not understand where people go and they see a Harris event and they've erected a massive wall around it?
Because you know what? We didn't need walls before January 6th, and because of the violence that moron stirred in our country, now we need walls outside a rally. That's the difference.
So the wall actually was here last time before January 6th. It was
No.
this was Trump. This is from Trump's era. This
No,
was from
but
Black Lives Matter.
Not from Black Lives Matter.
So this
Oh,
wall-
that's also stupid.
So this wall was originally erected for Black Lives Matter during the protests. They were protecting the.
No.
You don't know the history of this wall.
Security has. This was erected 12 hours ago.
Sure, for the third time. For the third time. What are the last two times this wall has been erected?
These are dumb questions, I have to
These
say.
are dumb questions.
Get out of here. We don't want to
So
talk.
George Floyd,
No,
I think
stupid
we're done.
2020. It's dumb because you can't answer it.
No, I
No, we
can't
have
answer.
So answer it.
We have answered.
So answer it.
You just want
But
somebody
I'm-
to actually fall into your little trap.
What trap? I'm just asking a simple question. You got a
We
wall.
answered your
What
question,
news
but
are
you
you
need to move on.
Rebel News.
That doesn't sound like a real network. What's it on? Where do I find it?
You can look online. It's a Canadian news site.
Oh,
I
Canadian.
think we're done.
What? Canadians are bad too. I'm Yemini for Rebel News in the United States, capital of Washington, D.C. Behind me is the White House. Unfortunately, we can't get any closer today because guess what? Kamala Harris is holding a rally in this safe Democrat state. And to my surprise, she's built a wall to protect her rally. So let's go speak to some of these people. And remember, you can go to aviacrossamerica.com to see all our stops in the lead up to the election across this country. aviacrossamerica.com. And if you support our work, please consider chipping in to help us cover the costs of the RV, the flights, the food, the petrol, everything. We cannot do it without you. aviacrossamerica.com. Why is a wall okay for them to use to protect their event, but not okay to protect the country?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I think most events like this have some sort of security perimeter. And given the kind of vitriol in the country right now, that's not inappropriate.
I think that's oversimplistic, just nonsense. Of course, there's going to be protection for politicians, and I mean, she could be the next president of the United States of America.
Well, there's troublemakers out there, but that's all I have to say about that.
Do you think walls work to stop troublemakers from entering?
Probably not. No.
You're in America and you're in a place where you can't just have an open access to get to Kamala Harris, who's standing right there. I think there's a difference in a border wall that's protecting people from illegally crossing from one place to the other, and I think there's a difference in the president being right there and having open access to her. Anyone can just run in and go anywhere they want to. So I think a wall protecting the president of the United States is probably very important.
So protection for her is more important than protection of the country?
No, it's not more important than protection of the country, but what I'm saying is she is right there, and she is the vice president of the United States and should be secure like any other diplomat would be.
I don't agree with your premise. I don't know who approved the wall, but I'm not going to agree with your premise.
So it doesn't bother you if a candidate goes staunchly from one position, so being anti the wall, and then suddenly switching over to be pro the wall?
This administration has decided to vilify them and to trade on them for the sake of this president's medieval vanity project called a wall.
It doesn't bother you?
What bothers me is racism, sexism. What bothers me is when someone is talking about the enemy within. That's what bothers me.
A bit ironic, Kamala Harris is building a wall.
No comment.
You think it's ironic she's built a wall around her rally to protect her rally?
No, not at all.
But she's against walls.
That's so funny.
That's a good one, right?
That's a good one.
It's
walls.
She's not against walls.
No, she's not against walls.
She's only against Trump's wall.
No, she's against illegal immigration.
It is very ironic.
Walls clearly work if she's building a wall to protect her event.
Well, I think security measures work. I think you can debate what's the appropriate security measure in any given circumstance.
I mean, we need them for security, so.
Would you agree that they probably need them on the border for security too?
Well, I don't know if we already have. I've never been down there actually, so I can't say like.
That was her fight. Like that's her thing with Trump. Is they were against Trump building the wall on the border.
Yeah.
But here she is building a wall to protect her
kind
event.
of ironic, right? Yeah. But yeah.
You need a wall. You need a wall in this country. Doesn't she need a wall? You think she doesn't need a wall?
But I thought
you got to put a wall in.
I
you gotta have a wall.
Trump would put a wall.
Hey, you gotta have a wall. Walls are actually good. You need walls.
Just before we get back into the video that I'm sure you're loving, but if you can believe it, gets better, I have a quick message for our US viewers from one of our sponsors who are making this possible. Kamala Harris, the Liberal California politician, the furthest left major party candidate America has ever seen, could become the next president of the United States. This should frighten you to your core. She supported open borders, she's failed you as the current border czar, and she even helped raise money to get criminals out of jail. This could be a disaster not only for your safety, but also the economy at large. Have you seen her new tax plan? It could be the nail in the coffin for the country. That's why you have to stop what you're doing right now and reach out to the top-rated precious metal company, Goldco. Goldco has over 6,000 five-star reviews, a bunch of awards, and has helped people just like you purchase over $2.5 billion in gold and silver. Visit rebelnews4gold.com to get your free 20 to 25 gold and silver kit, plus up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Visit rebelnews4gold.com. That's rebelnews4gold.com just after you finish watching this video.
You have walls at your house? You got walls? You have walls. You don't like when people touch you? You all have walls.
I agree with you, but isn't she against walls?
Well, we're just gonna get rid of Trump, then we can fix her.
So you don't care.
Time.
So that's your main objective.
I'm an anti-Trumper.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm a pro-Ukraine.
They've built a wall to protect the rally.
From the Nazis, from the MAGA Nazis.
What's her biggest accomplishment in the last 4 years?
Oh my gosh, they brought us out of a pandemic. They're working to kind of right all sorts of chaos that was created in the previous administration. I think that there's a sense of, wow, we could really be doing something different here.
As opposed to Biden?
Yeah.
Would you have voted for Biden?
I would have.
She represents like my morals and like, yeah, just all about representing morals.
What morals does she represent?
She represents like freedom of choice. Yeah.
And I believe Kamala Harris is ready, and whether you criticize her or you don't like her or you think she's not doing enough, it doesn't really matter to me, because I believe that she is. And that is the beautiful thing about being in America, is we have a choice to decide who we want to support, when we want to support them, and why we want to support them. And from my experience and what I've lived and what I've seen and what I've learned, Kamala is the right person for the job, no matter what you got in your own psyche.
Do you think she's going to make a better president than Biden?
I like Biden. I truly like Biden, but it's a difference for me, and I think I can say yes.
In what way?
Yes. Because not only that, she made the statement that she ran with him and she believed in the things that he believed in, but yet she wants to take it further.
I just want to come out and show support, bring numbers, make sure she knows that she's got people out there rooting for her, pulling for her.
Do you think she's going to win?
I do. I'm nervous. I'm very cautiously optimistic, though. I think with as crazy as all the rhetoric is coming from the right, that it's going to break hard left.
I actually think that we're at a kind of scary place for democracy, and I'm interested in a candidate who actually believes in upholding the Constitution.
We want to save our democracy. My ancestors fought in the American Revolution, so it's up to this generation to keep it going.
So there's almost more police and security surrounding the White House than there are actual people lining up for the event. And the other thing I've noticed is that the energy here compared to a Trump rally, it's low here. When you wait hours, 5 hours before a Trump rally in New York, it was pumping. Here, people are barely talking. The only mugger that we've seen so far here happens to be a Jew. We've been told all week that mugger is Nazi. What's going on?
MAGA's not Nazi.
See, you can pass for white. Easy. So naturally, you gonna see something different than a person of color would.
Sure, but you know what I saw at those protests, the Trump rallies, is it was full of diversity. There was black, white, Mexicans, all races, all genders. There was Muslims there were heaps of Jews there. There was everything. On the other side was mostly white. I felt very comfortable, but yeah, you're right. I could pass as white. But all the black people I spoke to there, they felt super comfortable. In fact, they were celebrated there. So I don't understand how somebody can sit back and kind of paint this broad brush of Trump supporters in this way.
I haven't seen that viewpoint.
Maybe you should go. Maybe you should start going to them now.
Well, listen, man, listen.
Stop the hate, and maybe you will find something in common with those Trump supporters.
Listen, my friend, this is where the world meets, right here. The world meets right here.
We saw a video recently where Jews at a Democrat event had to hide in a room as they were surrounded by anti-Israel protesters that were forcing them to lock down in fear.
So what you're saying that the reason Jews don't like Harris is the Ishmael thing, is the Palestinian thing. What?
They're just not safe around Democrats at the moment.
All it is that they hate Trump, so anything they can use to smear Trump, they throw at him without thinking about it.
If it quacks and waddles and looks like a duck, sometimes it's okay to say it's a duck.
Yeah. Isn't that what Trump can? Isn't that what Trump could argue? So it's all right for them to use that sort of rhetoric, and it makes her a good person. But when Trump says anything, bad orange man. Do you also have a problem when she does it?
I'm drawing antithesis to the fact that you are bringing up something about Kamala, and I'm saying, well, this man, I don't stand for about her switching visions or whatever, and I'm saying that the bigger concern that we should talk about, that we're nuancing through this conversation, but the thing is racism, sexism, changing of opinion.
It says that we've got a fascist running for president, and that it's something that we can't allow to happen.
So I guess
it compares him with Mussolini, only as a dime store version.
His supporters are very, very violent.
What about the years of violence, BLM riots across the country? Were they not Democrats?
Well, listen, come on, man.
Donald Trump is not a spiritual guy. He's not a spiritual guy because he wants to divide people.
His supporters can be very violent and vindictive.
Do you concede that most of them are probably not?
I can't. How am I going to say that when from what I see?
Hitler and his colleagues are using the same words as Goebbels did in World War II.
So what words did Trump use that you can say is Hitler's words?
Book banning is a big...
What book banning?
Book banning.
Which ones?
All of them.
What books is Trump trying to ban?
The book banning lists against gays, against everybody. It's not up for the government to...
I agree with you, but can you give me an example of a book that Trump is actually banning?
I'm not going to give you examples.
If you think it's important for people to know the truth about Kamala's rally, including the fact that she believes in walls when it comes to her protection, make sure to like, comment, but most importantly, share it far and wide, because this lot ain't going to tell that side of the story. So it's up to you guys to spread it far and wide. And then head over to aviacrossamerica.com. Check out all our reports from across this great country in the lead up to the election, and we still have a few to go. And if you support what we're doing here, please consider chipping in to help us cover the cost of the RV and travelling across the country, including food, petrol, flights, everything. We cannot do it without you. aviacrossamerica.com. Bookmark and support.